Alright, so Mike Perry talked yesterday, I guess. Well, by the time anyone sees this, it'll be like 2 days ago, something like that. That if he were to fight Nate Diaz, that he'd beat him. That he was weak, skinny, yada yada. Um, I don't. I think he was talking to Ariel Helwani. I guess I didn't actually see the interview. I just saw like one of the, one of these MMA news outlets that talks about a bunch of topics in a video per video. Um, but the idea of Mike Perry fighting Nate Diaz excites me. That would be an awesome fight to see because you know what's gonna happen. Well, in terms of like, well, you look at it like this. Both these guys, uh, they were educated. Part of their childhood was educated on the streets, whether it was Michigan for Perry and then Stockton for Nate, along with his brother. I mean, that's part of a life education that both these guys had gotten. So they're accustomed mentally. They're accustomed to uh to to violence. They don't shy away from it anyway, is what I'm trying to say. Um, and you know they're gonna be, if they were to fight, just they're definitely gonna be talking and talking trash. Where like, what's up, man? Um, that that would be entertaining enough to see, man. But to see these two fight, it'd be awesome. But when you look at the fight, or at least the track record of like Nate Diaz, in his prime, Nate's taken out a lot of guys who weren't prepared for his expertise in boxing. Nate's not a power puncher, but he's going to overwhelm you with volume, especially if you don't have the defense to handle it, and you can't stop him from building momentum. And I'm not saying anything bad about Perry. It's just what he looked like in his last fight. He's not as sharp. He wasn't as sharp in his last fight as he had been previously. Um, but obviously Perry has power. He has like he's got serious power for anybody. But Nate Diaz in his last fight, and Nate was always known to have a chin, both him and Nick. But in his last fight, he ate a flush. Uh, I think it was the right round kick from Jorge. He ate that flush in maybe the first or second round. It dropped him, but and Jorge dominated him in that fight. But Nate, he survived that head kick, which is amazing. But like I said, Nate and Nick, super durable guys. But Mike Perry's no Jorge Masvidal in terms of his skill. Even when Mike Perry is on point, he's like 15 moves behind a guy like Masvidal or McGregor, who were, in those early rounds of the second fight, those first 2 rounds, McGregor he had Nate's number every time, especially when Nate was throwing that right hand. He had that number. Slip, overhand left, or whatever. And then, most of Nate's wins are especially back in his early days, were from submissions. Guys becoming panic wrestlers, trying to take him down, and it didn't really matter if they took him down or not. Nate's jiu-jitsu would get the better of him, and he'd get to the tap. If Mike Perry decides to take him down, Mike Perry's thinking from what I've seen, Mike Perry's thinking that he knows he'd be able to take him down, and I'd say, yeah, he probably could. But he's thinking he can sit on top of it, sit on that half guard, and then just smash him. That's easier said than done. Rafael dos Anjos dominated Nate a few years back. He was able to take him down practically at will, but he was not able to pass that guard. He was able to land some damage here and there from the top, but he wasn't able to pass the guard. Rafael's a legit black belt. Now there's an obvious size difference between Rafael dos Anjos and Mike Perry, but there's also a skill difference. But I say all that during, times right now, UFC's not really looking at making big money fights. And honestly, I don't think Nate would be interested in fighting Mike Perry. But I'd love to see it still, regardless. That'd be awesome. Let me know what you think about that fight in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit like and subscribe, because I got a lot of content like this on this channel. And here soon I'm going to start talking about UFC 251, some of the fights, the main card for sure. But until then, we'll see you.